Hello everyone and Happy New Year. It is January 1st, 2018. Thank you for joining me here. My name is Maria and this is Ninja Chicken's podcast. It is a podcast about fiber-related adventures, knitting, spinning, natural dyeing, and sheepy things. Thank you for being here and thank you for coming back if you've been here before or checking me out for the first time. I am coming to you today from somewhere other than my normal location in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm coming to you many hours south in Loxahatchee, Florida, where we are visiting some friends for the holiday. It is lovely and warm out here. Well, the locals seem to think it's a little chilly, but compared to the very low temperatures that we have today up in North Carolina, I am really enjoying it. You can probably hear leaf bouncing on the trampoline in the background, so I hope you don't mind the outdoor noises, but it's just so pretty out here. I wanted to come out here and podcast. I have a bunch of saw palmetto behind me, which is an herb that I really like to use, or especially like to use when I was running a clinic years ago. It's a really nice herb for hormone health, especially for men's prostate. So I thought I'd sit in front of the saw palmetto. So yes, we are here on vacation. We drove down in our camper, which is a new to us RV that we got. I talked about it a few episodes back. It was the first big trip. It's inaugural big trip, and it was a lot of fun. It was much slower than we thought. Well, we expected it to go slow, but it felt slower too. We would usually go on the highway about 65 miles an hour, and even if that was the speed limit, people were flying past us. But because they see this old jalopy-looking thing on the highway, they were giving us a wide berth, so we never really worried about driving around too much. And it was fun. It's a different experience, the whole family traveling down in the camper. I mean, of course, there's much more space while you're driving than it is in our car, but the sleeping at night, the trying to make dinner in the itty bitty kitchen, and you have to be friends because it's close quarters. But we've been enjoying it. We're staying with our friends down here in Loxahatchee. Some of you may know Mars, who's Hey Brown Berry and the Hey Brown Berry podcast. We actually met through Instagram and through our podcasts and have just hit it off. And I can't say enough good things about those aspects of Instagram and podcasting with the wonderful people that I've met. And I hope that in 2018 that will just continue because it's been really amazing. So I wanted to podcast today, even though we're out of town, because it is my 1-year podcast anniversary. I started on December 31st of 2016, so it is now 1 year and a day, January 1st, 2018. And it's been an amazing adventure. It took me 2 years to get started. I was really nervous about doing a podcast and putting myself out there to the world. And maybe feeling judged, maybe not feeling like I'd have enough to say or be good enough. I don't know, but it's been really, really wonderful. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the stories, the responses through Ravelry and on Instagram and on YouTube. I appreciate your engagement with this podcast, so I hope you know that. And thank you very much. Today, I wanted to cover a couple of finished objects and works in progress and talk to you a little bit about some giveaways that are going on. So I will start with some works in progress. The first work in progress I have in front of me looks like a little baby sock, but it is Unini the Magic Unicorn. And this is an adorable, let me see if I have a picture of Unini. It sounds Italian to me. I don't think it's supposed to be Unini the unicorn. This is Unini. It's an adorable little children's knit, or an adult. You can knit it for yourself if you want. I am knitting this for a friend who's having a baby, and I got the whole kit because I just loved how it looked. I loved the colors and everything. So this is a pattern by Anna of the Dunkelgrün podcast, and it's super cute. It's really easy to knit. And this is the head so far and part of the body. And you were supposed to stop here put in eyes if you're going to use eyes, and stuff it. And I didn't have eyes yet, so I just got those on the way out. They were in the mailbox on the way out to Florida, so I'm super excited. I'm going to work on putting these in. I have 2 different kinds, and I'd love your opinion. I got green because I really thought green was going to go well, and I have this green sparkle, and I have this green, which is sparkle and yellow polka dots. So I think both of them are going to be super cute, but I'm not sure which one I want to do. So I'll probably put those in the next day or two and get it stuffed so I can keep working on it. I haven't done a stuffed animal in a while, and I was worried that it was going to be fiddly because there's a lot of little parts, but this, it's not a fingering weight yarn. I think it's a DK weight yarn. Yeah, and it's her organic merino DK, which is really nice. It's super soft, and the colors are beautiful. So it's knitting up really quickly, and I'm enjoying it. Excuse me. So that is my first work in progress. My next work in progress is some continued rows on my striped cowl that I'm doing. This is the one that I'm knitting out of 2 sock blanks. So many people will get sock blanks and not know what to do with them if they don't feel like knitting socks. And many people don't buy sock blanks because they say, well, I don't knit socks. But you don't have to knit socks out of them. You can do anything you want to knit with fingering weight yarn, or even worsted weight if you want to double it up. But I wanted to do something different. So I am just doing a tube that is going to be a long tube, and I will knit a big circle and reattach the end on this side, and then it'll be a cowl you can wrap around a couple of times. But I really like the striping effect that's coming up with the plant prints that were on these. These were some of my botanically printed sock blanks. So like you can see a change in color there, how it's darker. In person, it's actually even more a little bit brown, and you can see some of the changes in here. There's kind of like purplish stripes and yellowish stripes. All of those are where some of the plant prints were, and they're making stripes as I knit it, which along with the colored stripes too. This is madder dyed, and this one didn't have a color base to it. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be really nice. Yes, and I'm trying to make sure I've told you all the details. The other work in progress I have was my Christmas Eve cast on, which I cast a lot of these on Christmas Eve. I did a big cast on day because I didn't have much on my needles. And I am knitting the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas socks, which is the new pattern out by Danny of Little Bobbins, the Little Bobbins podcast. I think it's her first pattern, and they are adorable. I got this yarn, which, let me see if I can find. It's Juliana's Fiber, her garland yarn. I got it, I think, 2 years ago, and it was the first yarn I bought to be socks. Maybe it was right before I started podcasting. Maybe it was a year and a half ago. Because I knit a bunch of stuff, but I had never really knit fingering weight socks, and I thought, this is it. This is going to be the yarn that I start with. And you can see some of that sparkle in there. And I never did. I caked it up. I was ready to go. And then other things happened, or I knit with other yarns. And I still absolutely love this. I think it's a beautiful yarn. Try and see if we can get a better focus there. It's super, super sparkly in real person. And the way it knits up is gorgeous. And so I decided this would be perfect for that new pattern. And here's the first sock. I finished this this morning. I knit almost all of it on the way down. And you can see the pattern here is like a Christmas tree. And the stem of the tree continues all the way down the foot of the sock. So this is the first one. And then I have casted on the second one. And you guys know I usually do my socks 2 at a time from the toe up. This one called for cuff down, and it has, the tree on the right side for the right foot and the tree on the left side for the left foot, so they're on the outside of your legs. And I didn't want to have to fiddle with figuring out which one's placed where and trying to do it from the top down or toe up instead of top down. And I've been having problems with When I do it from the toe up, though I like it because I can use as much of it as much of the yarn as I want to make the leg as long as I want, I will do a super stretchy cast off and then it flares. And so I thought, I'll just try it this way and see how it works. And I really like it. I think it turned out beautifully and it was fun to knit. So I've started on this second one. And we'll hopefully have those done by the time I get home. And I think that's it for my works in progress. Finished objects, I have a few. I'm working on, 2 hat patterns. You probably know 2 hat patterns that I'm working on right now. They're finishing up testing. One of them finished up testing today, and the other one finishes next week, and hopefully I'll have those patterns out soon. The first one is one that I've shown you before, which is my Taking Root hat, which I'm doing out of the Prado de Lana naturally dyed yarns. And so I decided to do a smaller version. It's not actually smaller in diameter. It's just that I took out one of the repeats. So in this hat, you can see there's a taller, a second repeat in the bottom. So this one fits an older child, except it's a shorter depth, so it fits their shorter heads. But most kids, by the time they're 7 or 8 years old, have, 20-inch head, 19 or 20-inch head. So this fits just fine. Like this fits Leaf really well, and I think it's super cute. This one is dyed, the green is goldenrod and the brown is black walnut, and this one, the green, is also goldenrod, and the yellow is jewelweed, and I love the way that turned out. It looks a little bit blown out here, but the yellow in this is it's almost an orangey yellow. It's a golden yellow. It's such a beautiful color. So I'm excited for this one to come out. And because this is a farm yarn, and when they're spun up at local mills, sometimes you get a variation in weight of what the yarn is. So I wanted to compare it to more commercial yarn just to see. So I decided to do it in Let Lopi, which one of my testers, Pau, from Pau Knits podcast, did it in Let Lopi, and it turned out really well. And it came out perfectly. The gauge was exactly the same. So it's knitting up as more of a worsted weight yarn with the pattern that I have. So yeah, this is the third of the hats, and I really like how this one came out. And I knit this more as an adult size beanie. So yeah, that'll be out hopefully in the next week and a half or so. And then the other finished objects I have are 2 more of the cabled hat, which I've decided to call Hearth and Snow. And these are both, and you'd seen this yarn last time, which is the Farmer's Daughter's fiber yarn. And it's her bulky, super squishy, bulky yarn. And I made, this hat's going to come in 3 different sizes as far as length. It's really stretchy, so it will fit many size heads. But it will come written for beanie size, slightly slouchy, and then super slouchy. So this is the super slouchy version. And you just pull it back in the back, and you've got a nice slouch and a big old pom-pom, and I feel like it's perfect for cold, snowy weather, and I really like it. I mean, you can see how big it is, but when it's pulled down in the back, I think it's really cute. So, so this is this one, and then this one I did in the smaller version. So this will fit a child's head a little bit better, and this fits an adult head a little bit better. So this one you can see is a little bit skinnier. But yeah, I think they're both beautiful, beautiful hats, and they're kind of addictive. Because it's bulky, it goes really fast, and it's fun. So this one has the slip stitch pattern around, and then the cable on the front or the side, however you want to wear it, and then a twisted rib brim. So that will hopefully be out in a couple of weeks too. And that's what I've been really busy with. I did a bunch of those and then decided to cast on some fun projects for myself. So, so yes, it has been now 1 year. I think this is episode 26, which would make sense. I've been podcasting about every 2 weeks, so that would be right. And wow, it feels like I've been doing this forever, and it feels like I've just started, if that makes sense. And it's been really, really amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, if nobody responded to my questions or to, yeah, I do that the same way you do, or any of that, it it wouldn't be that fun. And so I really, really appreciate you guys. So thank you again. I want to do a giveaway because it's been 1 year, and I want to thank you guys with some goodies. I'm going to put a prompt in the Ravelry thread. Back to the beginning, you can find me on Instagram as ninja.chickens. You can find me on Ravelry as Ninja Chickens, and there's a Ninja Chickens Ravelry group. And I'm going to put a thread in the Ravelry group with a prompt for some kind of a question, probably related to New Year's, to do a giveaway for you guys. I got these, I think I showed them to you a couple episodes ago. I got them at a craft fair, and there's 4 cards made by a woman who does, it's not reverse stamping. It's a type of carved stamping, and she made 4 books, I believe, children's books with this kind of stamping, and so she also printed out some cards, and there's 4 different cards in here, and they're super cute. So I want to give these. I also want to give a little lavender sachet by Liesel of Buckaloo View. This is naturally dyed, and she's filled it with lavender, and it's perfect to put in your project bag to keep things smelling yummy. And then I also have some beautiful mini skeins by Cappy, who's the Yarn and I podcast. And that's what they look like, and they're also super beautiful. So I want to share those with you guys. And so, yes, these 3 things are going to be part of a giveaway for you guys. Some yarn, a sachet, and some cards. So thank you again, and head on over to the Ravelry group, and you guys can take part in that 1-year Podiversary giveaway. The other thing that's going on right now in the Ravelry group, well, there's two things. The first thing is our Colorwork sweater knit along is going really well. There are a lot of people who have taken part in that, and whether you are knitting it or not, I still think you should go over there and take a look at some of the beautiful sweaters. A doggy sweater, a Colorwork skirt. There are a few other things that have been entered, and I'm fine with it. If people are going to put the time and effort into knitting these beautiful things through Colorwork, and that was kind of the encouragement, is a Colorwork garment, then it's okay if it's not a sweater. But we might be doing a Colorwork skirt along sometime in the future, because a lot of people seemed interested in that. But there are a lot of things you should go take a look. If you're ever interested in knitting a Colorwork sweater, you should see what some of the finished projects are, because they're really beautiful and they might give you some inspiration. So that ends January 31st. And if you're a quick knitter, there is still time to knit something up for that. There are a lot of beautiful prizes and some fabulous encouragement that's going on in those threads. So take a look at that. The other thing that I wanted to do is that January 7th, so this coming Sunday, is Distaff Day or Rock Day. I've heard of it for years, and I've actually taken part in it over the past few years. But from what I understand, it stems from the time when, after the 12 days of Christmas, after the Epiphany, people would go back to work again. The vacation would be done. And there was Plow Day and there was Distaff Day. And Plow Day was when the men would get back into the fields and they would begin their work again. And Distaff Day is when the women would begin their spinning again and their home work. Work at home. And many would kind of celebrate with the start of the spinning again, and either carrying their spindle with them during the day or sitting at the wheel, or during the night when they were going out, if they were going out, or sitting at the wheel during the day. So I thought that would be a lot of fun to have a spin together day on Distaff Day on the 7th, this coming Sunday. And it's nothing formal, it's just going to be fun. There's not going to be prizes or anything. It's just to be able to spin together. And I started a Ravelry thread so you can see the details. It's posting pictures of what you're doing when you're doing it, or in preparation if you want to post, this is the fiber I'm going to spin. If you want to post a picture of yourself at the wheel, or your finished project, or product of yarn, whatever you want to do, that's fine. It's a way to share with each other what we've been doing that day and to all know that we're spinning together on Distaff Day. So if you want to join in, that would be a lot of fun. I'm going to be spinning. I don't have it picked out yet. We're just going to be getting home that day before. So I'll pick out some fun fiber and I'll share that with you through the Ravelry thread. So I think that's it. There's lots going on in the Ravelry group if you want to check that out. And we are going to be spending a few more days here in Florida. We're going to probably put our feet on the beach for a little while, maybe doing a little canoeing. And on the way back, we are going to head to Cape Canaveral or Cape Kennedy, which is one of the shuttle launch places. For those who don't know, it's where NASA has done many launches, and where Elon Musk now does a lot of launches for his SpaceX company. And they have a huge museum and places to see old rockets and, you know, adventures and stuff like that. So we're going to spend the day there. And then if the weather is right, there's supposed to be, I believe, the first launch of the Falcon 9, which is one of the rockets that is, I think they're testing to be a self-landing rocket. So instead of shooting the parts off and all landing in the ocean and then having to get rescued, it actually will be a controlled landing so it can be reused. And I think the first launch of what's called the Falcon Heavy is going to be sometime this month too, and we probably won't be here for that. But the Falcon Heavy is 3 of the Falcon 9 rockets carrying a larger payload, and it's probably, I believe, the largest rocket to have ever been launched. So we are going to park our camper in a little RV site right by the launch area and be able to see one of the, if the weather's right, one of the Falcon 9s launched, and I hear it's an amazing experience, so I'm super excited about that. So I hope you guys are doing well. I don't usually do New Year's resolutions, but if you do them, I would love to hear what you're striving for this year. I guess I used to do them where I would say things like, I'm going to try not to eat sugar, or they seemed, I guess, a little more, I'm not sure, now they're a little more ambivalent, I guess. Like, you know, I'm going to strive for more joy in my life, or I am going to try to give more, or things like that, as opposed to these specific ideas. I haven't done them in the last few years, and I don't know that I'm going to have one this year. I don't know. I haven't thought of a word for the year or a thing that needs to be a focus. I just want it to be a good year. So I'm going to strive for it to be a good year in whatever way I can make it that way. If you have resolutions, I'd love to hear. You can leave it in the comments or in a Ravelry thread. I would love to hear what you guys are hoping for this next year. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm optimistic it's going to be a really good year. So have a fabulous first few weeks of 2018, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care. If that mockingbird won't sing, Papa's in a